Michael R Fletcher. Now sit back and prepare to be entertained.
Welcome to the Dripping Bucket Podcast. We're back with your hosts, Krystle Matar and myself, Michael R Fletcher. Today we are joined by P L Stuart, author of The Drowned Kingdom Saga. He is a writer, he is a reviewer, he is a podcaster, an internet personality and force to be reckoned with. Welcome and thank you for joining us.
I can't live up to that introduction, but thanks, Fletch. That's
I should have been prepared, but The Drowned Kingdom is right there, that yellow spine. So
I'm honored.
I always forget to grab people's books when they come on. So, but it's there, I swear.
I'm honored. Well, I have yours all. I'm on this tiny little screen, but obviously I have both of your stuff on my shelves. So lots of it. So.
So let's sort of leap into, which did you start with? Did you start as a reviewer or as a writer? What sort of got you going?
Yeah, started as a writer. I mean, it was one of those weird, kind of organic, but not really organic things. How I got into blogging, and I basically, like you, I'm graced by being interviewed by 2 SBFBO finalists. Well, I flopped out of SBFBO in the first round.
Oh, no.
And then, but funny enough, I guess, for whatever reasons, our fearless leader, Beth Tabler, Krystle and I obviously are both assistant editors at Before Go Blog. She seemed to think I had something going. So she took pity on me, maybe as a consolation for bombing out. And she said, hey, now that you're out, would you like to kind of join the blog? Because, she saw some of my reviews on Goodreads, and I'm like, well, do we write?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm glad you mentioned Goodreads, because you're obviously very humble, but you're right, incredible reviews. And so it's not that she took pity on you; it's that she recognized your skill, and then dragged you onto the team, and we're richer for it, for sure.
That's very kind of too kind of you. You guys are really overselling me here, but I managed to follow my way in there, and then I feel like along the way, because through everything came through writing. So for example, Steve from Steve Talk Books, amazing guy. He was doing author interviews, asked me to be one of them. I said yes, and we're sitting there. We really got along. We hit it off. And we're sitting there, how it is when you're backstage with these things, and sometimes you just, you get a good vibe with somebody. You just chat, you just keep chatting. Sometimes it'll be hours. So we're chatting away. After he's like, you know what? I'm thinking of doing this interview thing. Like I already do interviews, but I want to make it like a feature. So would you be interested in co-hosting? He was like, you sure you got the right guy? But
yes,
he thought to me. And the story is really, it's amazing, but also sad. So a friend of his, Pax Panic, who is was a horror YouTuber, and she came, the name Page Chewing, I believe he put it out in a tweet or he would say, hey, we're going to start this new thing, and what should we call it? She came up with the name Page Chewing. Sadly, she passed away recently.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, cancer. But but in any case, amazing name. And from thence sprung Page Chewing. So we started just kind of begging people like you two to go, hey, you guys want to come on Page Chewing? And we're like, yeah, okay.
You had Rob Hayes on eating a page out of his book, didn't you?
Yeah, we go for the cheap anything to get views, we will do. So we got Hazy to that was pretty cool. Probably one of the highlights of all the shows. So so then we brought Taylor, the amazing Taylor from Made Between the Pages on. Yeah. She already had a channel. She's a great, incredible person and wonderful blogger. She's a great interviewer, like top-notch.
Excellent interviewer.
She's very modest about it, but she's amazing. And then Steve decided to take a little bit of a step back, a little hiatus, and he has this page chewing forum that's like essentially it's like a mini Reddit. That's the best way I could describe it. And there's all these
Okay.
forums, there's comics, there's all kinds of crazy stuff. Check it out. Anyways, he wanted to focus on that. So Taylor and I said, okay, well, we really want to keep doing the page doing YouTube thing. So then kept going with that. And then, you know what? Just so many people were just so inspiring. You know, there's so many amazing reviewers out there. The Philip Chases of the world, the AP Canavans, the Mike Book Reviews, etc. I started watching them like, I'll never be as good, but I can fumble my way through this. So I figured, you know what? I like to talk about books. I like to interview people. So I'll basically start my own YouTube channel. So I did. Crazy. I know. You know, these things happen, right? So now I do reviews, and I know reviews aren't that popular on YouTube, but I like to do them anyways. It's not for the subscribers or whatever. And I interview, great people in the community. Hoping to have both of you on there, obviously, surely, when I can pry you guys away from the other million things you're doing too. And I've done.
Well, I can't speak for Fletcher, but I am an absolute slut for attention, so obviously my answer is yes.
Only if you promise not to make me cry again. Only.
Okay. Only if you promise not to make me cry again. So, I feel like both of us can absolutely relate to that journey, though. Because obviously we're here interviewing you now because we're like, yeah, we want to talk to people too. we scrape Fletcher out from his basement once a week, and that's his adult interaction for the week. And it's something that I wanted to touch on just because I feel like, especially since you have such a longer tail at it than I do, how valuable that energy is to the whole community of just like, we're here because we love books and we want to talk about books and we want to talk about the theory of books and reviews of books and the art of books, and it just feeds in like this really amazing energy of feeding more creative minds later. And I'm wondering if you had the same motivation as me, where it's like, yeah, I want to talk to all these cool people so that I can write more books.
Yeah, and I guess it's the whole community thing, as you know, Mike and Krystle. It's just, you get caught up in, somebody's doing Kickstarter and you're all in to try and like promote them and back them, and because you think they're amazing, and then and somebody's says, okay, I'm starting this new channel, I want you to come on an interview. Okay, I'll be there, and then someone want can you be an ARC reader for my book? Yep, I'll be there. Can you burn my book? Yep, and you just. So much of it is just because people give so much back to me, and I'm serial almost in wanting to give it back to other people too. And it's just, I think, but we're all like that. We're just all like that, and it doesn't. So. And I think the thing is, especially with we're in this space where there's indies, there's trad authors, there's hybrids, there's editors, there's agents, there's everything in between, right? This can write booktubers, whatever. And we all kind of smush together and cross and I think what I've found is that, certainly you definitely do not get there without the support of the community, right? You don't get there. And also you cannot help but wanting to see people rise above you and sell more than you, and you like, it's just a natural, you get a natural high of it, right? Like your friends win an award, like, watching you guys go through SPFBO, cheer, to the degree you can. If I'm not blogging, and you got to be, I can't cheer too much because, that's it's just, I think it's contagious. And I also think that that's the makeup of 90% of our community. Like, I think the three of us, as many books as we've written between the three of us, we could probably sell each other's books better than our own. You know what I mean?
Garbage at selling my own books.
Yeah, I can't possibly talk about my books often enough to cover the way other people have been like signal boosting. Like it's not humanly possible. And so to that effect, I have to continuously be so grateful to people spreading the word. although I want to circle back to Swiftfo, because as of the day that we're recording, we have a brand new winner for Swiftfo 9. So congratulations to Morgan. And also my heart goes out to Katie specifically because I know what it's like to be second place that close, and how, gosh, she's so happy for Morgan, but also like, oh, so close it almost hurts more than being really far behind. And I find that to be an interesting, and you touched on it too, it's kind of, Swiftfo uniquely puts it in us into a weird power dynamic, in a way that regular reviewing does not, in that we want to cheer outwardly for people. But man, we're judges, so it's like, yeah, I don't know how much to say. And I kind of don't know where I was going with that, but Fletcher, you also judged a Swiftfo year.
Yeah, I did as a guest judge on a fantasy book critic last year. It was really hard.
Yeah.
You know, my natural inclination when reviewing is to, like, I'm not a reviewer. So if I buy a book, I read it. If I didn't like it, I don't finish it. It gets tossed or donated. You know, and I never talk about it. And if I like it, then I will talk about it a bit. But like, it's like, oh, you have to review this book. It's like,
yeah, you have,
but I didn't like it, and I don't like saying bad things about stuff. It's like, give it an honest review. And I think I was maybe sometimes a little too honest. I kind of feel bad, but at the same time, that's what the gig is. And if you can't take criticism, then you probably shouldn't be a writer, because you're gonna get some.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But I think as well though too, like, we're all conscious of, especially as indies, what a review means. We're all conscious of the fact that we write with a lot of integrity and we try and review with a lot of integrity. Mm-hmm. And that's not a bad thing. I think it's much more about the fact that, you know, when you have to say something that perhaps isn't as positive, you try and say it as still as positively as you can, even though it's not. Yeah. You know, and I sometimes, like Mike was saying, like, there's books that, unfortunately they weren't for me. I bounced off. No one will ever see, nothing I say about the book will ever see the light of day, right? Like, that's, so now that's why I pretty well pick my TBR basically on books that I'm 99% sure I'll like and be able to say something good about. So I guess to its age now, I hope I'm a bit more discerning and more self-aware of my own tastes. So I won't, like, if somebody sends me an arc, I'm like, well, you know what? I'm probably not the right reader for that, but this person might be though. And I'll refer them. And a lot of times that's been great. And the other person has loved it. And that's a great feeling, right? So, you know what I mean?
That is a good feeling. I found that to be the hardest part about the first round of Swiftfo specifically, where I had to cut a few books, and I'm like, man, I don't want to do this job. I really don't, but we have to. But to that other point, it's just being self-aware enough to say, like, this isn't me. This is between me and the book. It's not reflective on the author, and I appreciate that ability in this space. I feel like every so often there's this conversation where it's like we have to be more honest and more negative about books that we review as indies, and it's like that's not what honesty means. In my opinion, I don't see why being positive is automatically dishonest. I think it's just we are good at self-selecting books that we like, and so then we write reviews about books that we like.
There's a lot of books that you just don't talk about. Like, I've got stacks of books that I bought, and because I basically hate ebooks, like, they're all paperbacks, and and I get maybe 25% in, and I'm like, it's just not working for me. It's not holding me. For me. And it's always like it gets set aside, and I'm like, oh, I'll come back to it, but I never do. Like my sofa, there's 6 books sitting there that have all been partially read. And then there's on the ottoman, there's the book I'm actually reading right now. And this one I am going to finish. Yeah. But, it's the way it goes. I am, I think, brutally fast to to toss a book to DNF
Oh
it.
man, me too.
I will drop a book so fast. I don't have time for, to read a good book. It's got to be fucking amazing.
Yeah, agreed.
Sure. Yeah, I think we're all at that stage where, whether it's books or anything, relationships, you name it, like, bailing is not a sign of weakness; it's a sign of strength.
Yeah.
So,
it's like,
yeah,
it's like a symptom of knowing who you are in a way. It's like, I can be honest with myself. This is not going to work for me, so bye. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But and this book space thing, I mean, I'm continually evolving and learning. I don't know where I'm taking it yet. You know what I mean? Like I'm a planner, and I'm a kind of ridiculously, planner, a lot of stuff. So when it comes to the book series, that's all mapped out, and the next 15 books are what I want to do. But I'm writing a 7-book series now. I got 4 books out, and I'm working on the 5th.
Oh.
And
so
it's
you're
gonna be
past the halfway point?
Yeah, past the hump.
Approaching the finish line.
That. I guess that's what also. Sorry, go ahead.
You're pretty consistently getting them out once a year, right? Like, it's been, man, that's both depressing and also like really wild. Where it's like it's been that long since we've both published. It's been long enough for, so once a year you're getting them out, and then you were about to say something, and I totally interrupted and lost my train of thought at the same time.
No, I'm just saying because I'm past the hump with the series. I actually decided this year to take on other stuff. Like, first time I'm writing an anthology this year. It's called Shapers of Worlds. It's Ed Willett. He's a traditionally published author, award-winning podcaster. He basically anybody he invites on his podcast for the year, he asks them to be part of the anthology for that year. I got lucky to get picked.
That's
like,
cool.
He selects.
Oh, okay.
But MJ Kuhn's on this one.
Now I'm remembering that. I was like, why haven't I heard about you being in an anthology? But no, I have actually heard about this one. Yeah, that's really cool. And it's exciting to see you be given opportunities that you so justly deserve. So, and it's an interesting illustration of how just showing up for the community creates opportunities.
Yeah. And I mean, again, so much of anything that's positive that's happened to me is because of great people that have, boosted my work or decide to review it, or, like, I never thought, I mean, we're all there. I mean, you guys are very well decorated authors, lots of accolades, lots of, good stuff. But I mean, I never thought I'd be like in Grimdark magazine when I, you know what I mean? Like, the stuff that's happened, you just go like, holy moly. But that's all because of good people, right? That's not because I'm the world's best writer. That's because, good people have decided to,
I think also it is reflective on you in that when we prove ourselves pleasant to work with, people want to work with us.
Yeah, and Adrian doesn't just take anything for GDM. Like,
exactly.
He's picky.
Yeah.
So if you're in the magazine, it's because you deserve to be there.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. Yeah. Thank you for that. And that's the hardest thing, I think, too, for all of us, is that I think we're all pretty humble people, and when something like that happens, you guys finally us to be or whatever. You're like, sometimes the imposter syndrome, like, wow, do I really deserve to be there? And then you look at beside you, like, wow, that person's there. But then you realize, you know what, I'm here, so make the best of it, right? So
I find it really what's the word? Just nice that you're as bad at taking compliments as I am. Finally, some company in the uncomfortable compliment square.
I love to give them, but I
you can't take them.
Yeah, but that's all good, because I mean, I'm thinking about, I don't know if Mike, if Fletcher, if you're going to Glasgow this year, but I know Krystle's not. Man,
too far.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, it's like Deb and I, we've never been to Europe, so we're across the pond. Period. So certainly not the UK, so we just figured we'd do it, and but it's like so many people are going to be there, like people who are like, build these relationships, like you're so tight with some of these people you never met before, and now I'm going to get to see them in person. Like I said, I don't know if I have enough tissue boxes, in the back for all this stuff. And then, of course, there's going to be a lot of celebrating, and beverages shall be had, and, stories shall be told. It should be quite interesting. So I got lucky enough to meet Krystle in person before, thanks to Miles Cameron, actually. Got a bunch of us together.
And Adrian Gibson. He's the one that started that. And then Miles was able to find us a really great spot. And Fletcher didn't come, even though I repeatedly asked him to.
You dumped this for... Your kids were sick or something, right? That day, I think?
No. He had no excuse. It was... Adrian's son was sick, but Fletcher was just not feeling like driving.
I was lazy. I was kind of okay with it because initially we were talking about doing it near the airport. I was like, half-hour drive. Yeah, I'll do that. Then it got shifted to downtown, and I was like, not so much.
I hear you.
And then Krystle came up my way, and we had a couple of pints at a local pub.
Oh, nice.
So I was kind of like, I saw Krystle. That's good enough.
I get it. Driving downtown is not a lot of people's cup of tea, especially nowadays in traffic. So but hopefully I get to meet it with you sometime, Fletch.
I gotta ask.
I'm about to. Yeah, okay, good. Do it.
All right, you're writing a 7-book series, right? The Drowned Kingdom is going to be 7 books.
Yeah.
Are you actually going to write those 7 in a row, or are you sneaking in any books in between, or are you like actually maintaining focus? Because that's impossible.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm actually other than the anthology is the first thing, and I suck at short stories. I don't even know if I'm going to do this. I'm used to writing these 160 to 200,000 word things. Well, Krystle gets it because she writes double that. But and it's funny. So I finished the short story, I had the draft. So I'm like, kind of, hopefully this isn't too damn long. I'm really focused on the main series. I'm probably going to do a collaboration some point with a fellow authors, kind of those, secret projects. I will talk about it soon. Mm-hmm. Maybe potentially near the end of the year. Excited about that. Mm-hmm. And then, but that's it. Other than that, man, it's all my main series. But then when I'm done, I have 2 prequel trilogies planned. I have another 7-book series planned. And this is all in the same universe.
Oh, the same world.
And short stories. So it's like, I'll be writing to the grave, basically, with this.
Yeah. That's the dream, though, isn't it? Like just finding a comfortable means of production so that we can live in this crazy thing that we call publishing.
Well, so much of it too is, to be honest with you, I know how if you guys have encountered this before, it just seems to be a thing. Like, I have people who literally, and it's great to see that. I'm honored they bought the books, but like, people in flashing, I bought your whole series. I haven't read it yet, but I won't read it until you finish. I'm like, okay. Well, I'm grateful for the tale and the fact that you're interested, but because part of it is that whole, unfortunately, we talk about all the time, the JRM, Rothfuss / effect that, prove it to me that you're going to
authors. It's basically 2 authors who are finishing series. Now everyone's freaking out about it, and the rest of it is like multiple finished trilogies, and they're like, but are you going to finish it? Like, fuck. I was like, I got 16 books out. What do you think? I have trouble finishing a novel? Like, come on.
Yeah, you're one of the most prolific, indie authors, fantasy authors that I know. Like, you've proven it, right? And I'm certainly haven't gone to your level yet, but I've published a book a year every year since 2021. I'm working on the other ones. It's gonna be on spring. That'll be 5. Like, there's no evidence to the contrary. You know what I mean? Yet you're still judged, and which is fine. Because I appreciate that. People don't want to invest. There's a lot of books out there they can buy. I get it. You know what I mean? But unless I get hit by a bus, God willing, you will see a pack of wolves out in 2025, right? In the spring.
Yeah, so, it's okay. We got George R. R. Martin has stepped up, and he's agreed to take over the series for you if the bus thing happens. He's in the wings. He doesn't have anything to do right now, so he's sort of
nothing a writer won't do to avoid writing a book, including writing a whole other book for some other writer. That absolutely tracks.
Yeah. That seems to be him. He's avoiding he's doing a whole bunch of stuff to avoid, writing that next book. But he can afford to do that. He is
Yeah, he's still selling, so I don't know, he gets to futz around however he wants, I guess.
The royalties from one of his books is more than anything I'll ever sell combined in my life.
Exactly.
So, whatever.
Yeah.
It's all good. Happy for him. It's not me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
There we go. I think that if we leave on the parting shot of George R. R. Martin, we had a parting shot at somebody else last episode as well. So I think we'll try to get really famous by
take a
like,
shot at somebody famous.
Yeah,
Okay.
dissing the famous people. I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was Brando Sando.
So join us next week.
Yeah,
to find take a shot at Brandon Sanderson for no real reason whatsoever.
Well, it's clearly the one that you're dissing, Giorama. That's because he's one of my faves. So okay, I can feel good.
I know. Like I read. Yeah, exactly. All right. So thanks very much for stopping by, PL, and we'll have you stick around for another episode, and we'll be right back or whatever. So
awesome. Sounds like a plan.
Thanks.
Thank you for
hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored.